Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we live and garden in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today is a beautiful day in the middle of November. We still haven't had our first frost yet, so I think I still could put this job off for a couple more weeks if I wanted to, but I am gonna go ahead and put my bulbs into the ground. Come with me, let's plant some tulips, daffodils, alliums, and who knows what else. I can't believe we haven't had our first frost yet. Our average first frost is Halloween, October 31st. That means that, across a 10-year period, about half of the first frosts happened before October 31st and about half of them happened after October 31st. Well, here we are on November 10th and it's still no frost yet. I think we are expected to go down to 31 degrees Fahrenheit or roughly 0 degrees Celsius, I think tomorrow night or maybe the night after that, but we haven't yet, so it's pretty good. So here in Zone 7, in Maryland, we get a lot of cold days, but we don't get a lot of really frigid days like in colder zones above us. So normally we would plant our tulips after the grounds have started to be cold at night but not frozen yet. And because if you have too much warm weather, then they might actually start to sprout now, which would not be great for them. You want them to be in the ground in cold weather and then spend the winter in the cold, and then in the spring when things start to warm up, then they would start to sprout at that time. So that's why we don't plant them too early here, because we actually don't want them to start sprouting right now. And so I've been waiting because last week, what day is today? Today's Thursday, but Monday and Tuesday, we had highs in the 80s, folks, in early November. It was crazy. And I know that if I had planted these bulbs into the ground before last weekend, then they would have started to sprout now. So I'm glad I've waited. But next week, we're going to start, into Thanksgiving holiday plans, and I'm not going to have time to plant in the second half of November or early December. So I'm going to go ahead and take my chances and hope that we don't have too many more warm days here so these don't get tempted to start growing. So I'm going to be planting tulips, daffodils, alliums, and a couple of bearded irises, and some crocus. So let me show you a little bit closer up what I have going on. Some of these I've ordered from Longfield Gardens, and some of them I bought at the home improvement store or at a garden center or whatever. Starting with this mix, these are just absolutely gorgeous. It's Blends of Beauty. Tulip double Dutch blend. You can see that they have a pink, a white, and a dark purplish kind of color. They're all double and they're all gorgeous. Now there are 12 in each of these packages, so 24 total. These will they say they're hardy in zones 2 through 8, and they'll grow to be about 16 to 18 inches tall. Plant them so that the top of the bulb is 5 inches below the soil, and about 9 bulbs per square foot. So I can plant these in a nice clump. Next, I have these King Alfred daffodils. These are a nice standard yellow, double yellow, not double flowered, but yellow cup and yellow petals. These will grow to be approximately 14 to 16 inches tall. Hardiness zones 2 through 10. Plant them 6 inches deep, about 6 bulbs per square foot. Now you can put them closer together than that if you want them to be more of a big clump sooner, but if you spread them out a little bit, then they will have room to multiply. Tulips we treat like annuals around here because they don't get enough cold hours to really come back nicely, but daffodils, they will multiply and become better and better over the years. Here are some more tulips. These are Bride white tulips and Mystic Van Eyck pink tulips. 6 per package, and I have 4 packages of each. They're hardy in zones 2 through 8. Grow 18 to 20 inches tall. Plant them 5 inches deep. Same thing on the white ones. Crocus, large flowering collection, just a mix of crocuses, 45 per pack here. And these are hardy in zones 3 through 9, and they will grow to be about 4 to 6 inches tall. Plant them 3 inches deep. I love crocus, and I have lots of places where I could put them. I'm not sure where they're going quite yet. All right, I bought some pink mix of a bearded iris. It's just pink mix. It doesn't say what's in the mix, but hopefully we'll get some of these, one of each of these lovely bearded irises. There's 2 packages, so 6 plants total. And I also bought this one from Longfield. This is tall German iris Rosalie Fig. It's a purple one. Looking forward to having that. And then alliums. I got 50 drumstick alliums. Those are, let's see, 24 to 30 inches tall. And they're the ones that have the purple little round head on them. And then I have some Allium atropurpureum, which are a beautiful dark maroon burgundy purple. These grow 30 inches tall. And then I have some graceful allium, which are white and with a pink tinge on them. And they only grow to be a foot to 14 inches tall. Alliums come in late spring or early summer. And the irises are late spring to early summer. Crocus are early spring. Tulips are mid-spring. Daffodils are early to mid-spring. So I need to find some places to put these into the gardens. What do you think, folks? I think in the backyard somewhere, these specialty tulips are definitely going to go in the backyard. I think I'm going to start with the crocus, and I have 2 packages of 45 bulbs each, and they can be, put right together, right in the same area. So I think I'm just going to actually put some right on either side of the front walk right here, right up against, you know what, let me turn the camera around. Here we go. I'm going to put 1 pack of them right over here in front of this rose bush. I'm going to put the other pack of them right over here, kind of in this little corner area, so that they will kind of flank the front door. So they'll mostly be visible when you come out of the front door and start to leave the house, but also as you approach the house, you'll be able to enjoy them as well. Okay, so when I plant the bulbs, I'm going to possibly be using my power planter auger. This is the, I think, 12 by 3 one. 3 inches diameter, I think 12 inches long. And I'm going to put in some bulb tone fertilizer into the planting holes. This is not 100% necessary. Flower bulbs do totally fine on their own, but I just like to give them a little jump start to a healthy and happy life in the garden. So I think what I'm going to do for these, since they want to be spread 3 inches deep and you can put 12 per square foot, you can actually put them closer together than that if you want. I think I'm just going to kind of take care with my irrigation lines, but I'm just going to rough up this area about 3 or 4 inches deep and make this kind of a patch and kind of all through here, and then toss out the bulbs so that they're laying randomly on top of that patch that I've loosened the soil. And then I'm going to just put them into the soil with my fingers, just press them down into the loosened soil. 3 inches deep, pointy side up, root side down, and it should go pretty easy. So let's see if I can find my irrigation lines first. I guess I don't have any here. All right, so you know what? I'm not going to worry about the auger for this job. This soil is pretty loose and lovely already. You can see I'm using my method of using fall leaves as a mulch for the winter. Just going to let these leaves stay here until next spring. Just loosening the soil around the base of this knockout rose here. All right, good. So this will just be a nice little patch here. So yeah, I'm just going to dump them out here, kind of spread them out randomly, as if they've grown here on their own, and then just press them down in this soil like that, pointy side up. These have actually already started to sprout out a little bit. All right, those are done. Do the same thing over here with these 45. I tried to plant my daffodils in the backyard and get the tulips in too, but the soil was so dry it was really hard, and I gave up. All right, well, things are conspiring against me. I'm not going to get this job done today. I will be back with you on a different day after we've had some rain so that the ground is not quite so bone dry as it is right now, easier to dig in. And so I'll be back at you in just a second. Here we go. Okay, folks, I'm back. It's 4 or 5 days later, actually, and we've had the tropical storm came through and rained on us pretty good, so the soil should be nice and moist. Also, I've gotten several other things done in other parts of my life, so now I have a minute to get back out into the garden and get these bulbs planted. We now have a chilly day today. We're in the 40s right now, and I think our low is supposed to give us our first frost tonight. But today is what, November 14th, so that's a full 2 weeks after our average last frost date, or average first frost date. So it's pretty warm late fall this year. I'm going to be planting these 24 Blends of Beauty double Dutch blend pink, purple, and white tulips in this flower bed here. I'm going to be treating these like annuals, so once they're done flowering next year, I'll be pulling them out. So I think I'm just going to plant them in clumps of 3 or 4. They're mixed up. I don't know what color is what, and I'll probably have, let's see, 6 clumps of 4 or 8 clumps of 3, something like that, in this entire little area on this side of this walkway. So that's my plan. I'll be using my biotone, and I'm going to try and use the auger. Hopefully the soil will be loose enough and not have tree roots and not have rocks. Hopefully that'll work. Let's see. Now, what do I have planted in here? I have this holly. I have 4 asters, that shrub there, and then this back here is a lily. And then there you can see everything else that's in here. So I'm going to try to avoid any root zones of any of the perennials or shrubs that I have in here. So other than that, though, I should have a pretty easy time, I hope. She says. What a mess. Oh my God. Okay, so that gave me a deep hole. This soil is really loose. You can see it flying all around. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 or 4 in here. I'm just going to put them shoulder to shoulder. I'm not going to really give them all that much room because I'm not expecting them to naturalize. Tulip bulbs look like this. This is the top where the stalk will come out of. This is the bottom where the roots will come out of. So top's up, bottom's down. Looks like I can fit 4 in this hole pretty easily. I'll just do 3. All right, I'm going to leave the hole uncovered so that I remember where it is. Not iris, but aster. Put another clump here. Now that the soil was moist from all that rain, it was really easy to dig the holes for these tulips. I ended up putting 3 in each hole, so I had 8 holes throughout this flower bed, and I used my power planter and it worked really well. Of course, I got a lot of soil in my shoes, that's for sure. Okay, that takes care of these 24. I found some more bulbs in my house that I forgot I had, so still quite a few more bulbs to get in the ground. I'm hoping to get them in today so that when we travel to Minnesota soon, it'll all be done and I won't have to worry about it after Thanksgiving. So that's my goal. Let me see if I can rock and roll on this job. Next up, I'm putting those 4 packages of pink and 4 packages of white tulips down into these 3 planting beds. And I ended up putting, let's see, 4 times 6 times 2, 8, 48 divided by 3, 16. There we go, long way around the horn. 16 tulips total, 8 each, white and pink, in each of these tiered flower beds. And then I went out front and I planted all my drumstick allium. And I did them 5 per hole, and I ended up with a lot of holes because I found another package of drumstick alliums that I had purchased and I had forgotten about. So I had more than I thought. Guess what I found? I found a whole other stash of bulbs that I forgot I had. So, you know how it is, right? Please tell me you know how it is. I found these in a different place where I was safely storing things to be planted this fall. Oops! All right, so I found 2 packages of these pink wood hyacinths. These are hyacinthoides, pink color. Let's see, the hardy in zones 3 through 9. They bloom in late spring. They're an heirloom bulb. They've been around since 1601. I believe they're deer resistant. I've not had deer eat them down before. It says to plant them in small groups in a meadow or in masses and allow the leaves to die down naturally, and the flowers will come back year after year. Plant them 3 inches below the soil line, 12 bulbs per square foot. I have 2 packages of 10 that I bought at the garden center, and then I also have 1 package of some number, 1 package of 15 that are mixed, pink, white, and purple, that I bought through a fundraiser. So I have 10, 20, 35 wood hyacinths. I also found, these all came from a fundraiser that I ordered online. 2 packages of crocuses, 15 each, so 30 more crocuses. I already put some crocuses up on the front sidewalk. I do have a patch of crocus over here up by this sidewalk at the edge of our property. I'm just going to add these over to there to have more crocus over there. And then I also have 15 muscari grape hyacinths. These are some of my favorite flowers ever. So I'm going to find a nice spot that I can see these and be cheered up by them. I currently have grape hyacinths lining the stairs that go from the driveway up to the courtyard. And I'm going to find and I do have some on the north side shade garden also. I'm going to find another spot to put. You can always have more grape hyacinths. I might put these out at the welcome beds because that is so sweet. And I have yellow daffodils. I also have hyacinths out there. And I also just put in some allium out there. So it would be nice to have little grape hyacinths along the edge or in a corner or something. Okay, I also have 10 mountain lilies, which I have no idea what these are, but they sure do look like wood hyacinths, don't they, on the picture? So I don't really know what these are, but they say they grow 15 inches tall, deer resistant, zones 3 through 8. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you very thorough planting information on all of these. They're pretty common bulbs that you can find almost anywhere. The crocuses are zones 3 through 8. They grow 4 to 6 inches tall. These mountain lilies grow 15 inches tall. Here we are. The grape hyacinths grow 4 to 8 inches tall, and they're hardy zones 3 through 8 as well. And the wood hyacinths are 3 through 9 zone, and they grow 6 to 10 inches tall. So all of these are deer resistant, hopefully rabbit resistant as well. And I am going to try to find spots out here in the front to start getting all of these bulbs naturalizing so they come back year after year in more and more volume. So I'm just going to look for spots and put them in. You might have noticed I am using my auger, my power planter auger. It's so much easier today because we got so much rain the other day. So it's just going lickety split now. So yay for good soil. Okay, let me just get going. It was super easy to pop those crocuses into the ground. I just used the power planter to loosen the soil and then just toss them right in there. Super easy. I chose the welcome garden area to put my grape hyacinth in. Some on this outside corner on the north side, and after that I put the rest of them down on the south side, just opposite in a symmetric fashion. This is my chased tree, and this is where I chose to put all of my wood hyacinths. I really think it's going to be a gorgeous display underneath this chased tree next spring. I've had wood hyacinths in every garden I've ever owned since my very first house, and they're one of my very favorite spring flowers, so I'm eager to see them here. And then under this crepe myrtle is where I put the 15 mountain lilies that I don't really know what they are. All right, I'm really happy that I got all those bulbs put into the ground. There have been so many years where I've purchased a bunch of bulbs with all the best of intentions for a beautiful spring show, and then the bulbs sit in their packages in my basement or in my garage just over the winter, and they don't get planted. So I'm really glad I got all of my bulbs into the ground this season, and it's not even Thanksgiving yet. Woohoo! I'm ahead of the game. So before I close out the video, I thought I would give you guys an update on some things that have been happening around here. You may have noticed I have been kind of absent from YouTube in the last 6 weeks or so because I've been doing a lot of other things in other parts of my life outside of gardening. And so I really haven't been spending a whole lot of time in the garden, but there are some things that I wanted to share with you. As you can see, I have not yet gotten these planters. I do intend to put these salvia into the ground, take them out of the containers and put them into the ground. I just haven't done it yet. I don't know if I'm going to get to it before I go on vacation for Thanksgiving or not. We're going to have to see. Okay, up here. First of all, here are my porch pots that I planted. These are the ready refill containers that had mums and purple fountain grasses in them for the holiday season, for the fall. And I think they look gorgeous. I love the grasses. They did go a little brown on me in some colder weather that we had. But I think they look appropriately fallish. And so I'm happy with that. Now, the mums, disappointingly, have not really all opened. Some of them did, but it looks like the ones that opened are just about done blooming, but they didn't all open. And I had irrigation running to this every morning for 15 minutes. The soil stayed nice and moist. There was no reason for it to not bloom. So I don't know what happened with that, but anyway, I'm still happy with those. I think it's a nice fall look for the front porch. And I might do purple fountain grasses out here all summer next year, seeing how much I like them in these urns. These planters, I did add some ornamental cabbages just today. Actually, they're ornamental kale. These are the plain green and white ones. There's 3 in here. Yeah, there it is. So 3 in there of the green and white. Same thing in this one. I added in 3 of the green and white kales. And then into the flower boxes on both sides of the front porch, I added some of the purple. So I think that this adds a nice bright pop of purple in an area that was just bare soil for a while. The pansies that I put in here a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a month ago now, they're doing well and they've been blooming. If I would deadhead them, they would look even nicer. But they are blooming really nicely. The arborvitae are hanging in there and the Dusty Miller are coming along. So my plan for these is working out. I've got jewel tone purple is going on here. And I think that's going to have to be my holiday colors because I don't have the heart to take these out of the window boxes for Christmas. So I'm going to come up with some sort of Christmas front decorating plan that calls for jewel tones. So we'll have to see how that goes. And I did the same thing on this other side. It's exactly the same over there in those containers as well. And then the other update I wanted to share with you are my vegetable plots. Things are coming along. Let's see, these are radishes. I did thin them out, so they're about spaced about every inch apart or so. They haven't yet started to form any bulbs, but they do have nice greens on them. 2 rows of radishes. And then over here is my cut and come again muskaloon lettuce. It's came up. I haven't cut any of it yet. It's still pretty tender and it looks like it's getting visited by something. There we go. It's getting visited by something, probably some sort of insect or maybe a rabbit nibbling right here, but this hasn't been nibbled over here. So that leads me to believe maybe a rabbit came up and ate some of this, but it's doing pretty well. We are supposed to get frost tonight, so I don't know how that'll do. I sowed some seeds around the back here and they didn't really come up, so not much happening back there. I do have some Merlot lettuce back here that came up. It's growing. These are beets and they are doing well. Oh no, you know what? These are the radishes and these are the beets. My mistake. Beets, radishes. The radishes are doing a lot better than the beets. So yeah, they're bigger, stronger, just doing really well. Oh look, in fact, that one might be ready to harvest and this one might be ready to harvest as well. Yay. So these are French breakfast in the back and these are cherry bell in the front. So the radishes are doing pretty well. Cabbages are looking really nice. I'm very happy with them. They're just chugging right along. I don't know if they started making any heads in there or not. No, probably not. But they look really healthy. They are not getting any pest damage. Nothing bad happening to the cabbages. So that's good news. Really happy about that. And the broccolis look good as well. So they're growing really nicely. So this experiment seems to be working. Now let's go take a look at the garlic and onions. here they are here. This front near the edge is garlic, and then behind it is yellow onions. So let me come down at this angle. We can see a little bit better. You can see that's a garlic, and these are the onions back there. So they did sprout, and so yeah, they seem to be working. Now with the planting of these bulbs today, I think I'm just about done in the garden for this season. I'm not going to be planting anything else, and I mean, the cleanup that we've done has been mostly leaves. I've done a little bit of cutback of perennials, but not too much. It's definitely in the good enough category right now. We're here in mid-November. We still are going to have pretty not frigid weather, at least normally. Who knows what the weather does these days. But in most years, we don't have terribly frigid weather. We usually don't get snow in December, sometimes, but not usually. So I think I will still have some time on decent days to get out into the garden, do a little bit more cleanup if I need to. We still have one tree behind us here that hasn't even turned yellow yet, so much less fallen. So that tree is going to put leaves down onto the flower beds and the grass. But that's really pretty much the only tree that's got, oh, I guess there's some leaves over there still, although some of that's evergreen. So there's going to be a little bit more leaf cleanup, a little bit more garden bed cleanup, but I'm just putting the leaves back onto the garden bed. Sometimes they get shredded, sometimes they don't. Just taking that as it comes, as to how much time we have. So I think this video might be the wrap up of my actual gardening content for this calendar year. I am not going away though. I have a lot of videos already made about my DIY crafts for my Christmas decorating. I will be putting those up on this channel. I don't have another channel to put those on. I know this is a home and garden channel, and I usually do just mostly gardening, but I will be coming up with some crafting for the Christmas season in the next few weeks. So you might want to stick around for that. And I'm going to try to do some garden themed decorating this year, so you may want to come back for that as well. In fact, why don't you just go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet? I'd love to have you come back and visit us at all times of the year, of course. And then eventually we'll start doing things indoors, growing seeds indoors. Oh, I've got amaryllis and paper whites that I'm going to be doing. That's indoors. It's not outside gardening. It's technically indoor gardening, but that is garden related, coming up for the holidays as well. So anyway, I just wanted to say I'm about wrapping it up outside for the season, for the most part, except for holiday decorating. So thank you so much to all of you who have joined and followed along this channel this year out in the garden, giving me tips and tricks and information and feedback and ideas and lots of congratulatory, kind remarks on the channel. I really appreciate everybody who's taken the time to follow along here, and it's something that I have just really enjoyed doing. So thank you for coming on my YouTube journey with me. And with that, I think I'll call this video done and wish you well. I hope that you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Have a great one, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.